as Bill O'Reilly would say, just effort. Let's do it live. Live. Let's do it live. Live. No, effort. Let's do it live. Have you ever seen that YouTube video?
I have not.
Bill O'Reilly is a fairly famous. One second, I'm going to move this camera.
Yep.
Famous, or in some circles, very infamous, sort of fairly conservative Christian type commentator. Don't mind him. Some of the stuff he says makes a bit of sense, but some of it's a load of rubbish and just old man syndrome, to be honest. But yeah, there's a infamous YouTube clip where his teleprompter breaks and he just loses his marbles. He's like, "We're doing it live. No, F you, we're doing it live." Like, just completely loses the plot. At the end of the day, you know, it's quite funny to watch if you get a chance. Just watching this old news anchor who doesn't look like butter would melt in his mouth just come out on this absolute like swearing tirade. But welcome, if anyone's watching. Welcome. How you been, brother?
I've been good. You had a birthday over the weekend. You went away. I had a Bucks party, and
I did, yeah.
might have picked up the flu from the Bucks party by the sounds of it.
Hope you didn't get the COVIDs.
No, I was testing negative, so far so good.
How was the Bucks night, mate? Was it good fun? I haven't seen any photos go up. I'm sure they were banned.
They were banned. There was a TikTok that went up where we ran into some teenage girls that are waiting to see a certain TikToker, and we got them cheering for Taz because he's wearing all pink.
Oh yeah, I saw that TikTok.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one where like they were out for some brand and they got absolutely lampooned the next day, saying like there was like 1,000 times more people there than they were anticipating and stuff, and it was all in the papers.
Yeah, I think it's because it started in Sydney, then went to Melbourne, then to Perth, and the Sydney one, they were expecting a couple hundred and ended up being 700, and then so then the Melbourne one they expected 700 and they turned up 2,000, and then the I'm not sure about the Perth one, but the Perth one got shut down apparently because they didn't have enough security and police.
So it must have been the Perth one I read about.
Yeah, because they reckon it was like when Justin Bieber first came over.
Yeah, look, Justin Bieber, if you don't plan for him, you would have been a moron. This one, it's a bit funny because you don't know, like, oh, how popular is this TikTok? Okay, like, obviously as a brand, you know how popular they are, but you're like, well, hold on, I'm going to a shopping center. How, like, yeah, sure, people will watch them on a screen, but how, like, are they popular enough that they would actually come out in great numbers? I mean, look, there's obviously some like streamers or YouTube celebrities that you'd go, you need to plan this and you need to plan it really well. Like, can you imagine if, like, I don't know, Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman come out, like at an esport event? You'd absolutely have to plan that out. You know, like there's absolutely like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yes, no, we went away and it wasn't too exciting, to be honest.
Where'd you go?
City. We stayed in the city and spent a bit of time, just the wife and I.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was a nice night out. So had a bit of steak dinner and it was good fun.
Did you end up at the casino Saturday night? I'm surprised I didn't see you if you did.
No, we didn't. No, we weren't close enough to it.
Yeah.
We have stayed in the casino before. Had we stayed in the casino, I probably would have been down there. I'll probably message you guys and say, "Hey, you guys in the casino yet?" Because Amelia would have just been like, "I'm not interested." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done. This is my birthday now. I'll go out with my mate." Let me tell you, if I tried that one, good old Bob LeCool might be no longer. Let's just say. But yeah, no.
Just before we get started, I'll just do a sports update. It's a half time in the Brisbane versus Richmond, and Brisbane 53 versus Richmond at 59. And in the NRL, we got Storm versus Parramatta Eels, and the Parramatta Eels are 8-0.
Cool. How's that? Is our mate Dusty playing today? Is he?
Yes,
playing?
he is playing. Yes, he is playing.
You know,
isn't it a bit funny how it just seemed to come up on the day they're playing from a video 3 years ago? So
look, I'll be honest. I haven't watched the video.
I haven't watched the video either, but I think they're saying it's from 2017. So that's 5 years ago.
Okay, regardless of how long ago it is, right? Is he doing drugs?
I don't know.
Is the female in distress? Like, is he in an environment where you go like the the Degui one was a bit different.
Yeah,
because that did look like it was like she was kind of rack off your creep type scenario, and it was. I'm not sure whether with
this one was that. It looked like I've been told it looked like it that she wasn't at an establishment with no top on.
Look, considering his family background, that would not be surprising at all. Especially 5 years ago, I think his dad was probably still around. So, you know what? I don't think there's anything. I think sometimes. I think, unfortunately, some of these sports. Now, rugby is a whole different kettle of fish because some of the stuff that's been happening there has involved domestic violence, and so that's there's no excuse for a lot of that. And even some of the AFL stuff with with people sleeping with who they shouldn't. And I mean, there's absolutely stuff that that these young players need to be held to some sort of standard.
Yeah.
But at what point do you go, hold on, I'm at a private function. I'm sure as shit there's nothing in the video saying I'm showing I'm doing anything illegal besides being a young guy and enjoying squeezing a bit of boob. I don't know, man. Like at some point, you're just like, you know what? You're setting these guys up for failure. The young guys with lots of money, and then you take a look at Dusty's background with his dad and his friends and the family, and you just go, well, hold on. For him, that probably doesn't seem like it's something weird. Like it's the environment he grew up, and I think there's this expectation that these guys have this, they're priests almost. They can't drink, they can't do this. Let's get real. These guys are young guys who, are going to do dumb shit. I mean, you take a look at, I always use the perfect examples, Leighton Hewitt. Leighton Hewitt, early in his career, nobody liked him. Everyone thought he was an absolute idiot. There's some people out there who still think that. Don't get me wrong. But in saying that, Leighton is not Leighton. You know what I mean? He's not 21-year-old world number one Leighton anymore. He's a married dad, sports commentator, media personality Leighton. And I think that's what some of these guys forget. I mean, you look at someone like Luke Hodge, Chris Judd.
Yeah.
There are guys in the game who don't have those personalities, but I remember Didak back in the day from Collingwood, like those guys have always been in the game. Barry Round, I mean, was a famous footballer in the 80s. I mean, that guy went to jail.
Well, Didak got caught in a car with Peter Mitchell or something, wasn't it? Or
no, it was bloody worse. It was like with, I think, Victor Pearce and like Chopper Reed's generation of mates. So, I mean, there's always going to be young guys who are wild, but I guess some of the, I mean, Sammy Newman was on Sushi Mango. I don't know whether you know who those guys are.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah. So he was on Sushi Mango, and he was, they were talking to him, and he's like, oh, look, I'll be honest, thank God there was no social media in my day. Like I'd be screwed. Like, and he knows, like you can tell Sammy's a lad. Like if he was growing up now in this day and age, he'd be in the paper every second day for some dumbass shit he's done.
Yeah.
He did that when he wasn't playing, yet alone when he wasn't young. But anyway, at least hopefully Richmond, my son has decided I am no longer a Hawthorn supporter. I barrack for Richmond. And I'm like,
oh,
yeah, get out. You can go live somewhere else. And he's like, no, you picked the team for me, Dad. Now I'm picking my own. I'm like, whatever, mate. I'm like, yeah. Until they start losing, then you'll be like, oh, can I come back to Hawthorn? that's when I'll go, no.
That's when they'll be back onto their 3-peat, ready to go.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. But besides that, brother, earlier today you messaged, you said fighting a bit of a cold.
Yeah. I must have picked it up over the weekend. Yeah, just got a bit of a runny nose and a cough and a tickle in the throat.
Bit of that going around.
Yeah.
Some of it, to be honest, is maybe. I just saw my background is weird. Like my streaming background is a planet.
Yeah, it's out of this world, I thought.
No, I just can't bother changing it now. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's and plus, look, it's coming up to I think hay fever season now. So
yeah. Mine was going nuts the other week. The last week it started to pick up.
Yeah, dude, I noticed the same. I get it terrible. I actually take Telfast every day.
Yeah.
All year round. I'm just like, might as well. I just know if I don't take it, I'm okay for a few days if I don't take it. But if I don't take it beyond that, oh yeah, I know. It's like, yeah. Hi, my name's sinus infection. I'll be knocking you out for a couple of days. Thank you. So yeah, try and avoid that.
Yeah.
So let me go and see.
What about games? What games have you been playing? I started a new game the other night and it was pretty poo. It's an old game.
Oh, what was it called?
I'm just opening up Steam now to have a look. We're looking for a horror game, but apparently they didn't like Death by Daylight, so we didn't play that. Now, looking in my library, and it was City of Fear. Cry of Fear. The graphics are really
ordinary.
Yep. And the game was a bit ordinary, but.
Well, I did download. I did buy one on special, which has had some pretty good reviews. So I'm going to be interested. I haven't played it yet, but I have seen some gameplay online. Called Roller Dome.
Roller Dome. Is that the skating one? Roller skating.
Yep, roller skating and shooting.
Oh yeah.
I can do neither.
The other week.
What's that?
Todd was playing it the other week, I think.
What did he think?
I think he said it was alright, but I think you need like a group of 3 or something. It's not a group of 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played yet, so I just literally I bought it and I hadn't downloaded it yet. So I downloaded it tonight, and I was surprised how it's only a couple of gig, not very big. So I decided to download it. So I'll have a look. And the other thing I discovered is I'd gone on Fanatical and they had some sale, and I think for like $20, I downloaded like a whole bunch of royalty-free music and sounds, and I'm not gonna need to buy anymore. I may have overcooked it a bit. Like my C drive ran out of space. I had to find it. I'm like, I need to move this to another drive. Yeah, like shit, that's a lot of music, and that's why when I was like, I just went straight live. I didn't have a pre-show music like I normally do on the stream because I was just like, can't find it now. It's not going to work. So anyway. But yeah, no. Rich, Roller Dome. I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. It looks pretty good. The reviews have been pretty positive, so it looks different. Like it looks interesting in that way.
Yeah.
But I have been playing a bit of Far Cry 6 as well, trying to sort of grind my way through.
Nordo's in the stream. How are we?
Nordo.
It's just coming. Just a quick love you and leave you. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, mate. But yeah, that's about it. But you been listening to any PC news, mate?
No, not really. No, I've been a bit off it. Just going to Adelaide, and not this Saturday, next Saturday. Doing a road trip with my family and mum and dad. So going in the caravan, heading off to Port Fairy for 4 nights, and then we go to
very nice
Adelaide.
How's the boss feel about that?
He's all right now. Yeah, once we organise everything, sort of got ahead of for next month's like asset protections and that, so should be pretty good.
Okay, so the boss is going to miss you too much.
Yeah.
Until about a week in, and then he's like ringing you, going, any chance you could come back? Yeah, you might be in a bit of trouble. Didn't realise how much you actually did. No. But speaking of work, yeah.
Notice you said like much love, boys. Been missing you all. We miss you too. Good looking lads. What's with the crying, laughing face at the end?
How dare he suggest we're anything but good-looking lads? I mean, really? Come on, mate. Come on, Nordo. You know we're awesome looking. You know the ladies just can't get enough of us.
Yeah.
One of us, anyway. I'll let Nordo decide which one that is. I know which one it isn't. It ain't me. But anyway. But yeah, speaking of work, I got a new job. Well, got a new job. I'm still at Nissan, but just a new role in Nissan. So
yeah. Is that when you took over your friend's role, or?
Yeah, when he went on leave. Well, it's not his job. It's a new role which specifically handles a part of the warehouse with dealer claims and as of end of last night was 31st of August. I'd cleaned it up, and I hadn't cleaned it. I didn't clean it up more only because my boss said, "Hey, you need to stop paying because it affects profit and loss at the end of the month." So I kind of held back a bit, but worked out well. We did great. We achieved our targets and we're quite happy. And yeah, I was like everyone's come back. It's like, oh my god, we can't believe it. We're looking at where this, and mind you, there was 1,600 plus claims that need to be looked at.
Yep.
Mid July. Here we are, end of August, and it's all clean and neat and tidy and done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So no more money, but that's auto.
Yep.
There is no cashier, mate. But it's a lot. It sometimes, and I've kind of practiced what I preach a little bit, where I say to younger guys and girls out there, young people, to say, look, it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about, am I enjoying what I'm doing? And to be fair, I wasn't hating what I was doing, but I didn't understand it, and it was way out of my comfort zone, and just wasn't my cup. It just wasn't my thing. So, good thing is I get to do something I actually do feel like I can be good at, and on top of that, someone like one of the girls that was contracting is now full time doing my old job. So, I said to my boss, I said, thanks for putting up with me and babysitting me for 2 years, but yeah, I think we're all glad I've moved on. And he said, no, and he was very kind. He said, no, I did okay, and he's had worse, and so I was happy to hear that. But yeah, so that was my bit of excitement for the week.
Yeah.
But unlike you, I have been watching a bit of PC news. Caught up Tekt City, did a stream. Very interesting. Him and I don't know whether you've ever watched Greg Salazar.
No.
He's done a lot of different, like he's had a couple of different channels. Currently, there's two main things. Fix or Flop is one of them, and where if someone lives in the Florida, Orlando area in the US, he offers to diagnose and fix their PC for free.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. And the videos are monetized. So he says, I've got sponsors pay for the video. Thank you so much. He said, I'm not going to then on top of that charge people for it. They're kind enough. The condition is they've got to be in the local area. Absolutely no shipping. And he goes, you've got to be able to drop it off, and you've got to be able to be comfortable with me having it for a few days. And then he does his best to fix it. And most of it's really interesting. Actually, I think, even you'd find it interesting because he just goes through diagnosis.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a motherboard, sometimes it's RAM, sometimes he's just like, I don't know what it is. And then until he gets right in the video, it's like, I cannot believe that's what it was. And, there was a couple, I think he said Gigabyte, I think sent him some motherboards.
Yeah.
Because he'd replaced a few, and he was like, so he reached out a couple of sponsors and said, look, I'm doing this series. It seems to be a pretty decent hit. You want to send me some free gear? So if I have to replace it, I can actually pump your tires up a bit and need that.
That's not a bad idea, using the stream to monetize to fix people's computers for free.
Really cool guy. Like him. That's why him and I think Brian are friends. I think because they're all about their communities, and the stream actually was everything to do with the communities, and it was about the economics that are happening now, what's going to happen with GPU and PC prices, costs, just money in general, and sort of them talking about, we can't see ourselves doing what we're doing right now in like 10 years, and hopefully doing something else. And it was really interesting conversation. I didn't see all of it, but I listened to a couple of hours, probably about it. I was doing other stuff and I had headphones in, and so I was listening to it. The other thing this week, the huge news this week, was AMD released its details on its brand new CPUs.
Yep.
A couple of key points on that one was,
and
so
they're all got the new chipset, don't they? Or
yep, the LGA chipset. So they'll be like Intel ones where they have the pins in the board, and apparently the reason they did it is they couldn't get enough pins on the CPU to be able to continue using like the they call it's LGA, and I think it's FGA. I can't remember, but the reason why they couldn't do it with the pins on the CPU is they can't get enough density of those pins on there, whereas on the LGA socket they can.
Yeah.
If I was Intel, I would be shitting a brick. Absolutely praying the 13th gen is just in the same ballpark, but we are about to see a war like no other, where I think it's going to be toe-to-toe between Intel and AMD, and it will become, in the end, I think, a pricing war about who's more better value, who represents the best value. The pricing so with the new one, so you've got a 7950X, which is the top of the range, the 16. You okay, mate?
Yeah, you just having a bit of a coughing fit.
Oh, good.
I thought, did I mute it? Did I mute
you
it for
did.
you?
Yeah, you
that's
did.
Good.
Good job. So you've got the 7950X, which is the 16 cores, 32 threads. Then you had the 17900, which was a 12 core
24 threads.
24, thank you. Trying to think. You had the interesting part was they had the 7700X, so not a 7800X like last, because they had the 5800X last time.
Yep.
So they had 5950, 5900, 5800, and they did the same with the previous one, where it was 3600X, 3800, 3900, and 3950X. Well, this time because some of the commentary has been in the previous launches going, they really should launch with the 7700, because every time we've looked at it, the 800 chip in that stack ends up being a nothing burger, and people just go, I'll pay less and get maybe 200 megahertz slower clock speed, but the performance in real life is virtually none between, say, 5800 and 5700. So going back, so 7600X, 7700, 7900, and 7950X. And interestingly enough, pricing wise, they launched for the same prices as they did with the 5000 series. Now, some people have complained about, or pointed out that AMD currently doesn't have a low-end chip like the 11400 or the 12400. They don't have anything that's entry level. The motherboards sounded like they weren't going to be cheap. So they announced the motherboards as well, which is, so we've got X570 at the moment.
Yeah.
X670 is the next chipset coming out. And of that, there's going to be two boards. So there's going to be X670 and X670E. And the only difference between the E and the non-E is that the E1 guarantees you PCIe 5.0. So we've currently barely got out of 3, just onto 4, and now we're already onto 5. But guarantees you 5.0 on the graphics card lanes as well as the NVMe storage lanes. Whereas the X570, they're physically the same board, but apparently it's purely up to the motherboard maker whether they activate 5.0 on the whole board or not. I have a funny feeling X570 is going to be like for the average Joe, and the X570E is going to be for the really high end enthusiasts. And that's where you'll get your ROG, like your Asus ROG Hero, your Gigabyte, God like your MSI Ace, and God like your Gigabyte Extremes, and then you're gonna have then one more tier down like the Tomahawk. The X570 has it's a bit funny. Aorus Elite, MSI, yeah, it has Tomahawk. Asus has like Tough Gaming, so you kind of get those slightly lower end boards more affordable, but those are coming out September with the chips, but the B6. So we've currently got B. So there's B450, B550. So B660 is about, but that won't come out. They're saying until early next year.
Okay.
So that'll be more the budget, and the A420. If that comes out, I'll be really surprised this time because Asus did so they had the A320, and then they had the A420. Oh, sorry, the A520. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure there's a 520.
Yeah, the A520, and no one's bought them. Like they're really budget. Like the 550 boards were cheap enough. And they came down in price quick enough that people just went. Like unless you really wanted to go cheap, because they were so stripped back, those A520 boards. No, the boards on average were well over $100. And for another extra $20-$30, you could get like a much better 550 board with much better VRMs and everything. So but the huge part of it, the bit that has the potential to really, really hurt Intel, and we've seen it do it with the AM4 platform. So now they're going to go into AM3 platform, which is what we're on, to the AM4 platform. Is once again AMD is committed to that life cycle being until at least 2025 plus. And a really interesting video got done by Hardware Unboxed where they got a really nice, fairly high-end B350 motherboard. And they put a 5950X in it. Under stock settings, if you weren't trying to overclock, you weren't trying to push the performance of the chip, perfectly fine. So you could have a motherboard that was like 3-4 years old. You can't do that on Intel. Intel every second, so they do two chips, new socket, 2 chips, new socket. AMD did 5 years with this AM3 platform. And the other thing is they did say that AM3 is not dead. So I think they've got some plans in the works when people talk about, AMD's got no entry-level chips. I reckon they're like, you'll get, I just saw today on Amazon, if you jump on 5800X. Now, I remember when I bought Gabe's, I thought I did okay at $600.
Yep.
$400. $400.10. Now, they are ex-US Amazon. Gives issue. It's the same chip. It's not any different.
Yeah.
The only problem is if something goes wrong, you have to go through AMD for the RMA process. $400, man. That's 3700X. Never got that cheap.
No.
Go away, Paint Shop Pro. But yeah, I think that could really be a problem for Intel. Is the fact of AMD once again committing to at least 4 generations, probably 4 to 5 generations of chips on the one motherboard. So that means you can keep that motherboard and just upgrade the CPU as you go along every couple of years. The only slight downside is that they're only going to have DDR5. So DDR4 is definitely on its last legs. But you can see, I mean, you can buy 32 gig, the RAM kit you've got.
Yeah, yep.
That you can get for like 100 I think I've seen it as low as 170.
Oh.
Yeah, for 32 gig. So it's fairly cheap. Like DDR4's gotten really cheap, and that's the problem. But I think we're already seeing DDR5 come back in price because I think there's enough volume now that the economies of scale start kicking in, where they're like, okay, we've recovered our investment, and now the chip makers can start competing with each other.
Yeah,
where they're starting to probably figure out how to make them a bit more efficiently. They're making more of them, and I reckon what you'll start seeing by the end of the year, don't be surprised if you start seeing like 64 gigabyte of DDR4 RAM going for like $300. And, and the thing is, you can use still DDR4 on Gen 12 and Gen 13, the coming up Gen 13 Intel stuff. So the only thing that's, I think, going to possibly soften the blow of this launch from AMD for Intel is the fact that you're not going to have to upgrade to the really expensive RAM.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit cheaper to go on that platform. But then some people, I think some people might just go, I don't care, I'll just do the whole lot. And the other problem that Intel's got is AMD's now started this platform and committed for how many years on it. Intel don't have that ability. They've never done it, and I don't think they thought. I reckon that was the pull your pants down moment of AMD to Intel, was when they came out with that announcement going, by the way, our socket's going to be around till at least 2025. And I reckon Intel would have been watching that and everyone in the room would have gone, are you fucking kidding? Like, how do we battle that? Can we change it? Can we extend the life of some of our sockets? And I reckon the response from the engineering team at Intel will be no. The only thing we can do is slow down it.
Yeah.
Is slow down how quickly we release a chip. So do like 13th, and then when you get to 14th gen, space it out to 4 years. So every 2 years, put one out, and let AMD put one out every year. But you do it every 2 years, and then you can turn around and say, hey, we don't need to upgrade every year because we don't think there's enough of an uplift from generation to generation to do that. But the danger of that is if then AMD goes to the next chip and the next chip, and every generation keeps going like 20, 30% improvement, Intel all of a sudden's got egg on its face going, they can't even use that strategy. So Intel's in a world of trouble. I think as a company, same with video and graphics cards, they reckon. It was funny. The part of the announcement was they did show Lisa Su saying, "Oh, we've got a new GPU coming out." And everyone's going, all they did was just show her face on the screen. She's going, "Oh, look at it. It's amazing. Look how good it is." I'm like, you fuckers don't realize she was actually trolling you. Going, we're not showing you shit. You're going to have to wait. And I'm like, people realize she's probably taking the piss and says them. No, I don't think they did. Everyone was talking about it in your cycle going, oh, and how ridiculous is AMD? They announced the GPU and all they showed you was Lisa Su's face. I'm like, you idiots. It's gone over your heads. It's gone over your heads. So I thought that was, look, I think AMD's starting to get a lot cleverer with its marketing, and its presentation. It openly had some very big cracks at Intel and didn't care. Whereas Intel, in its launches, used to always only talk about the competition. And I was like, what would you not say AMD? We know who the competition is, morons. Like, there's only two of you. Oh, that competition. Come on, stop being childish. But speaking of GPUs, I mean, whew, I reckon by Christmas, mate, it's going to be GPU bonanza.
Yeah. But that one I saw today, I don't know how legit it was, but a 2060 for $150.
I don't know how legit that was.
Yeah,
if that's legit, he'll sell that like bang. I reckon it's a scam. It's just it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
Or there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And he's just not saying anything in the listing because there was not a lot of information in the listing, and that always makes me makes me really sus. Those usually are scam. I'm like, why would you sell it for 150? Like, you know, I mean, 2060 is not like still worth $300. I think as a used one, $300 is $300, $400 maybe. If it's like a Strix or a nice model. I mean, it was a pretty basic model in the photo. But yeah, I was like you. I was like, $150. You got two of them? Buy them. Did you try messaging him?
No, I didn't.
Didn't want to face the wrath of wife if he said, yep, come pick it up?
Yeah.
Because you've got a 1660 still, haven't you?
Yep.
So 2060 would be I'll be okay. I mean, it wouldn't be a massive upgrade, but it'd be decent.
But for $150, yeah.
$150, then go put your 1660 up for $250, like $50 a head. But yeah, no, that to me stank of too good to be true. Oh yeah, I'll meet you at the servo, mate. You just PayPal me the money and I'll be there in 15 minutes. No. Yeah. But very funny story. One of the guys.
Yeah. The survey says.
Hey. Welcome aboard, Hitter. So one of the guys at work, me and him talk about him possibly, getting into PC gaming and stuff. And one of the other guys is an older guy, and he gives a shit. And he always talks about, about keyboards, because that's about all he knows about PCs. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm waiting for the Devastator 4. Because Cooler Master make this keyboard called the Devastator 3. And he remembers me having one. He's like, no, I'm waiting for the 4. I couldn't help myself. I saw them on special, the Devastator 3 Plus at Officeworks for like $79. Messaged the other bloke and I said, I'm buying it. You want to go Harvey's? He's like, oh my God, this will be hilarious. He goes, yeah, do it. We rocked up to work. It lasted the day. And he's like, no, it's too bright. It's too bright. I can't deal with it. I can't. I press buttons and then it does stuff. No, I just want my old keyboard back. And he goes, I really don't want to sound ungrateful. And I'm like, it's okay, dude. Okay, if you don't want it, it's okay. I'm like, happy to take it back. And my new boss said, because he is a bit more of a tech guy, he's a little bit into his PCs and stuff. Not as much as I am.
Yep. Or
you are, but he knows what he's talking about. Like, you can tell he's pretty switched on. And he goes, oh, don't you want that one, Chris? And he goes, no. He goes, how much you pay for that? And I said, oh, $70. And he goes, oh, I'll buy it off you. He goes, I'll give you the cash. I'm like, oh, you sure? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I need one for home. And happily took it home. I just asked him today. I said, oh, how is it? And he goes, oh, my wife's whinge gets too loud. He goes, I'll probably have to use it in Truganina when he goes out to his office out there. And I'm like, oh, well, but it's all right. And he goes, no. He goes, it's good little keyboard, solid. He goes, I like it. Very nice. He goes, it's good enough for me anyway. So he was happy with it. But yeah, it was hilarious. And we said, and the whole day, the running joke was, oh, someone said, oh, how you going, Chris? I'm like, oh, mate, he's flying, mate. Him on the Devastator 3. We've improved his productivity tenfold. And we started nicknaming him Devastator. And I think that tipped him over the edge. Just no. The lights, the buttons, no, fuck it. Take the thing back. And then his nickname be Devastator. No, None. Well, mate, so you off to Adelaide, you were saying?
Yeah, road tripping. So yeah, we go to Port Fairy for 4 nights, and then I can't remember where we go in Adelaide. Was staying at Lake something or other. Well, I think we're there for five nights.
Is that is that the lake in Mount Gambier? Or there's one around there?
Is there a blue lake or something? I don't know.
Yeah. The blue lake in Mount Gambier.
Sounds like blue lake.
Yeah, Blue Lake in Mount Gambier. Yeah, Blue Lake War. Yep, Mount Gambier attraction. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So and then we're there for 5 nights, and then
beautiful. It's
then
a
we're going
very
to
nice lake. Let me tell you.
Then I think we're in the Barossa Valley for a couple of nights, and then slowly make our way back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be driving anywhere. Wouldn't be planning to drive anywhere for even on your way through. If you go through Coonawarra, if you like wine, I bought a wine. Easy 10 years before Gabe was born. Because my Amelia and I went through there. And I paid. I think I remember thinking at the time, going, "Oh, this is an expensive bottle of wine, like $100 or something." And I kept it for 10 years, and then Gabe was born. Let me tell you, when I opened that bottle, that was one of the smoothest, most tastiest bottles of red wine I have ever had. It was amazing. And I was spewing. I didn't buy like 3 or 4 bottles of it because at the time I probably could have afforded it. But I was just being sorry. My wife was probably being the voice of reason, and I was like, "Oh yeah, she's right. I shouldn't buy that many." But I kind of wish I did because they were. It was a Merlot, and oh my god, it was so. Because Merlot's a fairly heavy wine, and I can't drink it anymore because I just get headaches and stuff. But that was, and at that stage, I already figured out I couldn't drink red wine. But oh my god, I had that. It was so smooth, like I didn't feel it at all. It was just really nice. My father-in-law goes, "Oh, this is bloody petrol. This is," and like, this is a bloke who, let's be honest, doesn't usually notice how much alcohol wine has got in it. He's not, he's maybe known to have, go to dinner, 2 bottles, and go, "I'm all right." Like, okay, and walk like it does, walk off, doesn't affect him. But yeah, even he was going, "Oh, he goes, very nice," but he goes, "Oh, very strong." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great." Remember drinking 2 glasses and going, "Man, this is good." But brother, mate, I didn't want to keep us too long. I don't know how long we've been going for. We're going half an hour.
About a bit close to that. Maybe a little bit longer. Yeah.
Didn't want to hold you up any longer than that. I know you're not 100%.
Feeling 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about you, brother? Have you got any other news or
anything else you want to share? No.
What's the footy score? Give us an update, mate. Give us an
update.
All
right, Richmond have just kicked another goal. It's 83-67, and it's 6 minutes left in the third quarter. So there's still another quarter to go.
Who are they playing?
They're playing Brisbane. In Brisbane. Elimination final. Yep.
Oh, really? So if they lose this, they're out, aren't they?
Yep.
If they win this game, they are going to be stupid dangerous. They're going to be very dangerous in the finals. I would not want to be any team coming up against them because they'll be dangerous because they've got that finals experience that a lot of the teams that are at the moment in the top 8, unless you're Geelong. I don't think Geelong fears anyone at the moment.
Nah, I think that's worthy. They've been playing pretty good this year.
They've got that air of invincibility around them against Geelong, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like that, we can't. No. Like if they lose, people go, "Oh my god, I can't believe Geelong lost."
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice they had a bad day.
That was Melbourne Demons at the start of the year, and then they got a string of about 5 or 6 losses, and then, they become old news.
Are they did they make the finals though?
Yeah. They come second and third. They're playing Sydney tomorrow night, I think. But I think Gastro's gone through the demons actually. So
Oh, okay, that's not gonna be good. That's not
nah,
gonna be
but
good for the plays. That's not good prep.
yeah.
So, are they
But
playing in Sydney or in Melbourne?
uh good question actually. I don't know. Look at have a look. Loading. They are playing in the MCG in 22 hours.
Yeah, Sydney's not fast playing at the MCG though.
Yeah. Geelong and Collingwood at
Can I just
4:35.
say, I this is Hawthorn bias coming through a little bit. I think I wouldn't be upset if Sydney won, and that was Buddy's time done.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be a great way for him to round off his time there.
Yeah.
And as a final to the support to any of the naysayers who said the Swans pay too much money for him, because if they get to the grand final and he kicks a winning goal or turns that game around, which is people do not need to not kid themselves. Buddy Franklin is not as dangerous or as maybe quite as good as he was in his Hawthorn days.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Buddy Franklin's one of these guys you get loose at your own peril.
Yeah.
That he's the guy, mate, who can do nothing all game and the last 5 minutes just destroy your dreams by kicking. Just miss everything all day and then just suddenly kick 3 goals from 70 metres out in 5 minutes and just completely end your game. So I'm hoping that he does that because I think that'd be a nice way for him to finish his time at Sydney. I think any team that's taking him on after that, though, I think is pretty game. I think they know. I think they should know what they're getting, and that is, it's not going to be the best of Buddy Franklin, and I think it'll be they'll overpay him because of the sponsors he can bring with him, and he comes as a package with the wife, I think, who are very media savvy and very he's a good brand ambassador, doesn't get in trouble, doesn't go out, doesn't get in the gets in the media the odd time, but nothing for anything overly bad,
Yeah.
so to speak. But I mean, I also think is Dusty out of contract this year?
I think he is. Yeah. I think Sydney we're talking about trying to get him or something.
How interesting. We're at finals time. He's out of contract, and a video of 5 years ago pops up with him grabbing some hooters. Wonder why. I wonder why that could be. Don't know. I don't know. Whoever leaked it obviously is not a Dusty fan.
Yeah. Or wants to get Dusty at a cheaper price, or trying to put him off his game for the night.
Of different reasons, but
yeah.
So far doesn't sound like it's working. Sounds like the Tigers are holding firm. So
84 to 73. So what's still 2 goals in it?
It's not. Look, it's far from over. Far from over that game. Yeah, like last quarter is going to be. Sounds like an absolute belter.
Yep.
All right, brother. You might as well go and enjoy watch it.
Yep. Go watch it in bed.
That's it. I'm done. All right.